Big reptile talk. Yeah, we working. Talk about service. Big reptile talk. When it comes to talking about snakes, yeah, know that we got for them effects. Yeah, big reptile talk. Let's talk about reptiles. Yeah, big reptile talk. Let's talk about reptiles.
Yo, what is up? Welcome to the podcast. This is Big Reptile Talk, and I'm your host, Big Derek, man. Super excited. Before we get started, man, let's say what's up to a couple people in the building. Fries Critters, tuning in from Australia to support Luke in the hobby. Much love, Fries Critters. What is up, Elsa Lampus? That's my homie Guapame. Morbid Retix, what's up? I see you, man. Live feeding ASMR, what is up? Lizard Moore said he see everyone. We're going live in a minute. Heavy hitter in the building, man. Mike's Monitors, y'all go give him some love. Low Life Exotics, man. What is going on, man? Super excited. Today, man, we talking to Luke from Lizard Moors. How excited is that? I want to say something. I want to say something. I want to see how it makes you feel. You are a Australian heavy hitter. How does that make you feel?
Oh, look, I appreciate it. I mean, I don't think I'm a heavy hitter really, but you know, I breed some pretty cool stuff, and I enjoy doing the social media stuff. So the social media stuff has been great, yeah, no, I really enjoy it. So it's cool.
All right, well, we're gonna talk about you breeding a little later. I wanna talk about Australia first, man. Like you know, you're across the water. So what is Australia like?
It's great. It's pretty. I've been to America a couple of times. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences as well. We've got a big country like America, but everyone lives around the coastline, essentially. There's not a lot of people in the middle. So everyone lives near the water, which is pretty cool. And the weather here is typically pretty hot, you know, in most places. Even where I am, I'm at the very southeast. So essentially, you know, looking at a map, I'd be sort of similar to where Florida is in America. But that's the coldest spot in Australia because it's down the bottom opposite hemisphere. So, but we've got a lot of tropical areas, a lot of desert. We've got great reptiles. We've got awesome reptiles, which is cool. Yeah.
I honestly, living in Australia, I feel like you don't have to go to a reptile expo. You have the animals walking out in your backyard.
Yeah, look, there are wild reptiles, and we see them a lot. You know, like in my area, we've got a lot of blue-tongue skinks that are native. We've got lace monitors that are native in my area, and then there's a lot of snakes. You know, if you're a snake guy, there's plenty of snakes. I actually had a video up not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago now, on my Instagram where I found a copperhead with its head stuck in a beer can on the side of the road. And I've got a friend of mine who's a professional snake guy to come out and give me a hand, and we were able to free it and save it. But yeah, so we've got some pretty cool stuff native as well, 100%.
That is insane. Mike Monitor said, "How about land mullets?"
Yeah, so land mullets are a bit further north. So in my area, we do get a lot of different skink species. Land mullets is a bit further north. They like it a bit warmer, you know. Yeah.
Freaking Australia, man. Now, I know. Do you get, you know, having as many animals as you have? Do you get the chance to go herping?
A little bit. I don't go specifically herping. I do some bushwalking and some stuff outdoors with my kids. But I don't specifically go. I'm not a real big herper. But I do, if I see anything on the side of the road, we get a lot of the skinks and lizards and stuff come to the road to get a bit of heat during the summer on the edge of the road. So I always stop if I see something, make sure it's safe, help it get off the road, etc. You know, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
I probably see in summer when it's real hot, I probably see at least one blue-tongue skink a week. You know, just driving.
That is insane. I'm jealous, man. Now, with you being from Australia, man, I already know who one of your favorite, the most favorite in the reptile hobby. You're probably gonna go with Steve Irwin off top, because since he's from Australia too, right?
Yeah, of course. So I mean, like he's a hero of everyone. Everyone who loves animals and is from Australia. Steve Irwin is obviously their hero. His son Robert Irwin is doing some amazing stuff now. I see him on TV and all sorts of stuff now. So he's also a big inspiration for everyone. But yeah, absolutely. But we're not all crazy jumping on the back of crocodiles. That's mostly that's just select few. But look, I've got a friend Colin Schumacher who I do a live with on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's a professional snake catcher. He goes out and catches snakes for people when they're in their backyards or in their sheds, or they need help with a wild snake. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
That is insane, man. I love it, man. Now, you're killing it on Instagram. You have so much knowledge when it comes to these lizards. So I want to know, do you feel like you had a mentor, or are you self-taught?
Oh, no, I definitely have a few people that have helped me out along the way. Colin Schumacher, the guy I just mentioned, actually, he was a huge blue-tongue skink breeder for a long, long time. So he's given me a lot of help. He's not doing as many skinks now. He's actually got a really diverse collection now, but he used to be heavy in the skinks. So he helped me out a lot. Another guy, Stone Deaf Reptiles up in Queensland, which is Phillip, England. He's actually a wildlife carer, looks after injured wildlife that gets handed in. He's been a great help to me too, because he's a massive blue-tongue skink breeder as well. Some of my best breeding animals are from his lines. And he's been awesome for me as well. That'd probably be the two most influential on me.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, how long have you been keeping reptiles?
So I've always been into animals. My mum actually is a veterinary biologist, so she's like a vet scientist. So when I was a kid, we used to have a laboratory in our house, like testing bloods for the zoo, testing bloods for vets. Doing all that, if you take your animal to the vet and it gets a blood test, the blood got to go somewhere to get tested, and that used to be my house. So my mum used to do that. So I was always crazy into animals. I used to, collect little skinks up on the train line and keep them for a few days and let them go, and all that sort of stuff that you're probably not supposed to do as a kid. But keeping them heavily like this, having a big collection, breeding, etc. Now, been about 4 years. Yep. Like full on. Yeah.
That is insane. So your mom was like a vet scientist doing all kind of crazy stuff. So you've been around animals your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like when I was a kid, I used to keep a lot of rodents, fish, aquatic stuff. And then I've got asthma. And so animals with fur don't really suit me, like they make me not feel well and have trouble breathing and stuff. So animals with scales is much better. So that's why I got lizards, and that's why I'm into reptiles and fish. Yeah.
Now I got to give you a hot seat question. Now you keeping all these reptiles. Who right now is your favorite keeper in the hobby?
Well, I'm friends with Brian Barczyk, obviously, over Instagram. I talked to him a little bit. He's a pretty big inspiration, obviously. He does some amazing stuff. More with the education and just sharing the reptile love to people rather than just being a straight breeder. If I was talking just breeding, there's a few guys in America with the bearded dragons that make some pretty crazy stuff that I really like. Jason from High Desert Dragons is probably the breeder. Yeah, I love his dragons, like just the red coloration and the stuff he does. And he does cool videos. He's got a big Instagram page. He keeps very similar to me in the style of enclosure. We talk a bit and give each other ideas and things. So I'd probably go with him. He's a good dude.
Right. I need to try and get him on the podcast, man. He's doing some amazing stuff, man. Now, there's so many animals. I gotta ask you, what made you decide, I want to go the lizard route. I want to breed all these incredible lizards, because you're doing bearded dragons, skinks, monitors, all kind of lizards. Why lizards?
Well, I originally started with blue tongue, so I wanted blue tongue. I wanted a lizard. I wanted a blue tongue skink. They're a big bodied lizard. They're quite heavy, solid animal. In Australia, the blue tongues are quite big. They're very long. So they're impressive looking animal as well. They're fairly easy to keep. It's not too technical. So it was just a good way to start. And then there's a few breeders in Australia that do a lot of color mutations. So I got sort of sucked into that idea of doing all the mutations of different colors. So then I just started expanding. And look, I don't have any snakes, and I love and appreciate snakes. I see what people do with snakes, but I feel like once you've got legs, you've got a bit more personality than a snake,
Now,
yeah.
I want to tell you something. I was looking at something, and it astounded me for that. The price of skinks. Like, I was like, oh, I'll look it up. I'm sure I can get one at the cost of a leopard gecko. Skinks are really high, price wise. It's like you're not getting one for a leopard gecko. You can get a leopard gecko right down the street where I live for $30-$40. I looked on Morph Market at skinks. They were like $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. I said, shit, this is an expensive animal.
Yeah, well, because Australia has very strict import and export laws, any Australian animals that are in the reptile hobby overseas essentially got out probably illegally, and so it just pushes the price right up of the Australian stuff. So in Australia, they're not that expensive, or not as expensive, but in America and stuff, the prices are nuts. Yeah.
Yes, skinks. I was like, oh my God, this price is insane. Now, how long have you been breeding?
So breeding reptiles for about 4.5 years. Yeah. Yep. So I'm up to my fourth season breeding blue tongues. And breeding bearded dragon mutations. So me and my wife do the bearded dragons together. It's mostly, she probably takes the majority of the work with the bearded dragons, and then the blue tongue skinks is my go. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome to have a partner that just supports what you do?
Yeah, so I started. I got the blue tongues and liked them and that, and then she was like, "Oh, I want to get one. I want to get a bearded dragon." She got a bearded dragon, then it just went crazy. Now we have, I don't know, 60 adult breeders, Yeah.
60 breeders.
Yeah. So we breed a lot. We mostly wholesale, like a lot of our animals. So I service a lot of the pet shops and reptile stores across my state with stock. And so, we've got over 300 bearded dragon eggs in the incubator. I think we're hatching maybe 10 or 15 a day at the moment. So
that is insane. So you're doing this full time.
Well, in Australia, the money in reptiles is not as high. So it's not a full-time job for us. But me and my wife both work from home. So this is actually my office, and my reptile room is the same place. So it's 11 o'clock in the morning in Australia now on Thursday. So we're the day ahead of you. I just logged off work for an hour to talk to you, and then I'll log back on. But it's a work day here. But we just worked the lizards in around our life, So we do, I check all the lizards in the morning. I start work. I knock off for lunch. Check the lizards. Work. Knock off after work. Check the lizards. So we just sort of, it just sort of works around our life. But and they're part of our family. Even the adult breeders, every lizard's got a name. They're part of our family. We've got 4 children. My son has a 0 bearded dragon male breeder. One of my daughters has 2 blue tongue breeders. My other daughter has a bearded dragon breeder. So we've all got reptiles. They've all got names. It's sort of a real family thing.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, what are some of your current projects? You just hashed out some stuff a couple of days ago. What are you working on right now?
Yeah, so with the bearded dragons, we're mostly working on zeros, which is the white bearded dragon, hypo, trans, leatherback. So we do a bit of a mixture, but zero mutation is our main one there. We actually hatched a twin egg. What day was that? Monday or Tuesday? So there's a couple of videos up on Instagram about it. But we had an egg with 2 babies in it.
Two babies in one egg.
Yeah. So we had it pipped in the morning, and I sent a photo to Brian Barczyk and said, "What do you reckon?" He goes, "Well, could be 2 heads, could be 1 dragon, 2 heads." But they look slightly different color. So we thought, oh, maybe it's not. And then by the afternoon, one of them had thought it was 3/4 out and it was a 0. And then the afternoon, the other one came out and it was just a hypotrans. So we got 2 out of the same egg, but they're different mutations. So it's pretty awesome. And yeah, it was pretty exciting. So that's the first time we've ever done that. So we'll probably keep them just because they're a bit smaller than all the others, so we'll see how they grow. But it's sort of, it's a bit of nostalgia there and a bit of excitement. It's the first time we've ever done it. So we'll probably keep the 2 of them. But yeah, with the bearded dragon, Zeros is big. We also have whiplets, which is the other sort of patternless bearded dragon mutation. And we've just bred some of those. So we haven't got babies yet from those, but we've just bred those. So we're looking forward to it. And then with the blue tongues, I'm breeding a bit of everything. So I breed white northerns, which is like a white mutation, not albino. So it's just a white body, normalized. Hypermelanistics are black, and albino. So those 3 are the 3 I'm working on this season, and combination, like double and triple recessive combos of those. So like the black and the white together, we call it a platinum. The albino and the black together, we call a lava. So those double recessive mutations as well. So I bred the last couple of seasons. I've just focused on breeding double hets. So I've bred a friggin' army of double hets. I've got so many double hets that I held back. And this season I'm breeding all the double hets together to try and make double recessive visuals if possible, So
that's the way, man. Double hets, all that good stuff. You're killing it, man. There's a reason where you are where you are. Now I want to show a picture, man, because this animal is just so freaking amazing to me. The Pygmy Moga monitor. How awesome is that? You made this?
No, I didn't. I bought those, but I do hope to breed them in the future. I've got 3. So they grow about as big as a bearded dragon, but they're much more slender. And they're a mini monitor, like a pygmy monitor. So, full grown, they're this big and, they're awesome. So, yeah, so I've got 3 babies. They're nearly 12 months old now. And I hope to breed them in the future. That's definitely a project I want to do. So in the monitors, I'm friends with Mike's Monitors, who and yeah, he's a big inspiration for monitors for me, and so watching his stuff, I was like, I've got skinks, I've got dragons, but I've got to get monitors. So I got the Gillens, I got 3, and I've got a pair of, I've got 2 baby or young Bell's Phase, or 1 Bell's Phase and 1 normal lace monitor as well. So I hope to breed them in the future as well. So they're the 2 species of monitor that I decided to get into. The smallest you can get just about, and the biggest you can get. So for us, in my area, that's sort of the smallest and the biggest you can get. So I've got those now, and I'm really enjoying working with them because they're just different, very different. Yeah.
I love it, man. Like I never thought that I would actually ever own a monitor, but when I seen the pygmies, I was like, those are gorgeous, and it's not going to get super big, so you could actually own one and not have a insane enclosure, because it's a pygmy.
I think you could probably keep a pair or a trio in like a 4 foot, As long as you had the height, they are a tree monitor. They like to climb, get up and down. So you probably want 2, or you probably want 3 foot of height if you could do it. If you went 3 by 3 by 2, something like that. I think that would be good for a pair. No problem. And you put a hollow tree log in there, they can get in and out. They'd love that.
Man, that is insane. When you get some of those pygmies, man, I need to get one from you.
I think Mike breeds them.
I know he does. He said it. He said it's one of his favorites. He said those are one of his favorites.
So you should hit him up because they're cool.
Yep. I need to hit him up, man. He does have some insane stuff. Now you're breeding all these lizards, man. What's the worst bite you ever took?
Well, I don't have anything. Look, until those lace monitors get big, I don't really have any. I mean, the bearded. Look, I'll be honest. Even with the not a bad bite, I squeal. I'm a real. I don't take a bite well. The bearded dragon bites are nothing. They just scare me, because I don't expect it to happen. The hardest bite is a blue tongue. Blue tongues have got a very muscular head, they crush snails and crush little bones and things like that when they're eating. And so when they bite out, you don't expect. I had one of my hypermelanesics black blue tongue, and I was trying to get him to stay still for a photo. I put my hand in front of him, and I sort of looked at my camera, and I looked back, and he grabbed my hand, and he left all teeth mark in there for like a week, but he really grabbed me, and I did squeal very loudly. So
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Mike's Monitors. College said he gave Mike a sub, so much love, Mike. You've been breeding, you said for 4+ years, and I want newer breeders to come here and learn. So, when it comes to like breeding lizards, any kind of lizards that you breed, do you feel like successful breeders need to breed their own crickets?
I actually don't use crickets. I use very few crickets. I use woodies, which are like a wood roach, very similar in America, very similar to like what you have like a dubia. We keep a lot of those on hand. So we have a breeding colony in the garage, and then I have a friend, Nash Woodies. He's in another state, but he's like a woody distributor. I do buy top-ups of him to top the colony up. But yeah, definitely, I think you've got to have enough stuff on hand, especially when you got babies hatching. You need really, really small stuff, and so if you're buying roaches or crickets for that matter from a commercial person, you're never going to get them small enough. You need to have the real small stuff in your own colony on hand to be able to grab it and use it straight away. The 1, 2, 3 day old insects to give to the really small, like those twin the baby bearded dragons we bred are this big, like they're not going to, they need a tiny bug. And so if you're buying it commercially, by the time you get it, it's too big.
Right. So
I think you do need to have some. But I think you can do a bit of both. So as I said, we do buy a bit of stuff in and we just add it to our colony to top it up. But to make sure that it's gut loaded, to make sure that it's healthy, to make sure you've got a variety of sizes, I think it's a good idea to have your own stuff. 100%. Yep.
So he's dropping gems. If you're breeding lizards, have your own, and you can still buy. I tried to breed crickets, but it was a horrible experience.
I think all insects are a pretty horrible experience. So it's not really for me. They're a pain in the ass. But look, we have to do it just because we've got such a big collection, and if you get low, it can be pretty dire. It depends where you live too. Like if you haven't got good access to buy stuff, you really need to have your own stuff on hand ready to go. That is the good thing about blue tongue skinks, though, because you can just feed them dog food.
That's nice. Now my wife, we have frogs, and I had a leopard gecko, but I kind of got out of leopard geckos. But we still have frogs, and I noticed every 2 or 3 days I was running to PetSmart, and I'm buying crickets, and I was like, I'm just gonna breed crickets. Man, have you buy it? I was like, I walked in, I said, give me 200-300 crickets, and I set them in the room. I couldn't sleep for days.
Yeah, we keep them all out in the garage, the bugs. We don't keep them inside. Stuff that. It's no good.
And if I told my wife I was breeding roaches, I don't think she'd go for it. Could you imagine if one got out?
Look, I'll be honest. We find a few roaches around. But what do? You got no choice. Like, it's just look. I found one this morning. I was getting out of the shower this morning. I lifted up my shoes and I found one. I was like, grabbed it, threw it in with a bearded dragon, ate it, gone.
See, my wife ain't going for roaches. She was okay with crickets, but if I did roaches, she'd be pissed.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine you get 2 or 3 of them. They get out. Now you got a whole colony of roaches in your house. Oh no.
Yeah, no, they do get out, but it just is what it is. Yeah.
Mike's monitor said he breathes 2 in 1 in the monitor's barrel, basically 100-gallon whiskey barrel.
Okay. And so that must be the Gillens he was talking about. Yeah.
Right.
So he's got a trio 2.1 in a whiskey barrel. So that's sort of similar to the size I was saying. I think a 3x3x2, something like that. You could have them. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Shout out to Mike.
You'll have to get them.
I'm gonna look at. Shout out to Mike's monitors. Mike Collins just said he gave you a sub. So I thought I'd let you know that. Now I want you to give us some tips, man, because like I said, you're killing it, you're crushing it. You are a successful lizard breeder, and I want people to be able to follow in your footsteps. So what's the best piece of advice you can give someone to be a successful lizard breeder?
I think you need to know your animals. So they're probably a bit different to snakes, where you probably don't have to pay as much attention to the animal as a snake as you do a lizard. I know my animals. Like every animal, I check every animal twice a day. Every all my adult breeders, I know what sort of enclosure they like. If they're rubbing their nose, if they're behaving in a way that I know they're uncomfortable, I move them. Try different types of enclosures for different animals. I've got half of my blue tongues in a rack system and half in enclosures, and that's because of their behavior. They show certain behaviors in a rack. I know they're unhappy. I move them. They show certain behaviors. I know they're happier. Certain animals breed better in certain situations. So you've really got to have a feel for your animals. You've got to check them often and know them. I know what certain animals like to eat. I know what certain animals don't like to eat, so I'm not wasting food. I know what enclosures they like. You got to pay a lot of attention to them, but I just think if you know your animal, you'll go better. And I think that's probably the most important thing. I really do know all my animals. And yeah, I think I have a good grasp of that. And I think if you pay good attention to know your animals, you'll succeed pretty well.
I love it, man. He's dropping that knowledge, man. Big Luke from Lizard Morphs. Y'all better pay attention. Now, what was it like, seeing your dream become a reality? Because, a lot of us have dreams. Like, I have aspirations to be a breeder. I have aspirations to have my own facility, and you're actually doing it. So your dream is a reality. What was it like seeing that become a reality, making that first sale or seeing, your first clutch hatch? What was it like?
Look, the first time I bred blue tongues, look, I was pretty emotional about it. I was like I was watching them being born, because the blue tongues are live bearers. They drop them live. And watching them come out, watching them take their first breath, watch them eat. Oh man, I was pretty emotional about it, because, so much work to get the blue tongues to breed. And yeah, it was big. It was a big deal. Yeah. So yeah, it was just really exciting. I really enjoy, watching the whole life cycle, watching, breeding to stuff being born, to growing it up, to breeding it again. I'm breeding blue tongues now that I bred, 2 and 3 seasons ago, that are now old enough to breed for themselves. I was even talking to my wife yesterday about one of the blue tongues who's gravid at the moment. She looks pregnant. She looks like she's got babies in her. She looks exactly like the same shape as her mum did, and just I find that exciting. I'm just like, wow, she looks just like her mum did at the same time during the breeding, and I just thought that was awesome. So I really enjoy all that part of it. And I that probably the thing that's the most important for me is that I've been able to share it with my family. My kids wanting to get into it, them wanting to own their own lizards, them being involved in the business, and so doing it with my wife and then with my kids has just been awesome.
I love that. See, you tugging at my heartstrings, Luke. I'm doing it with my family. I don't care about the money. I'm doing it with my family. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and look, it's not a big money maker here. I mean, we make some money, and it pays for our hobby, and there's probably a bit left over. But it's no full-time job here. But we sell enough stuff that it's a rewarding sort of side hustle. And it's just a great hobby. It's a great family hobby. We have a great time. I enjoy the Instagram as nearly as much as I enjoy the lizards. Like making all the videos and the reels and stuff. That's a big part of it for me too. I really enjoy that creative side of it. As well. Yeah,
I love that, because we're getting ready to talk about that next, man. Being a breeder, or having reptiles and selling them. I think social media is so important to get your name out there, and you're absolutely crushing it on Instagram. So my question to you is like, how does that feel having 70,000 people want to see what you got going on?
Yeah, look, I I love Instagram. And look, you got to be careful. It's a bit of an ego stroke, like you get a bit carried away with yourself. You think, oh, how great am I? But look, I do enjoy the social media. I really love Instagram. I like making the short form videos. I do a bit of a mixture. Some are just, lizards to rap music, lizard rap videos, and some are actually educational stuff where I talk about certain things about what we feed and how we look after our reptiles and stuff. So it's a bit of both. But I really love Instagram. Well, I love the social media. Full stop. Our Facebook's growing as well, but I think Facebook's definitely the third string of all of them. I would like to get into YouTube. You're crushing it on YouTube, which has been amazing. I would like to do YouTube. I'm just not sure what sort of videos to do on YouTube, and because it's more long form stuff, and I'm interested in doing that, but I think it's a lot more effort, So at this stage, I'm just focusing on Instagram. I love making the reels and the short form stuff. I had a real blow up. I got one that's got 92 million views.
92 million?
92 million views, yeah. So
that is insane.
Yeah. So it went crazy. So look, but I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that part of it. There's been good and bad parts of it. You get a bit of hate as well. You don't know what you're doing. You're a bad keeper. You're an animal abuser. You're a piece of shit. I get all that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the social media shit is your platform. You do what you want. I feed my animals and I do podcasts. Look where we at right now. We on the road to 13,000 subs and over 400,000 views this month. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
That feels good.
Yeah, you should. You should be really proud of that. And I know there was a little bit of controversy. I saw it as a video, called you out, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But I had a bit of the same. The video that got 92 million views was a bearded dragon that was shedding, and the video was us pulling the shed off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I don't have the same opinion about how to care for the lizard as me, just attacked us, like you're an animal abuser, you're a piece of shit, you're this, you're that. They just went me, and I took it to heart. I had a really hard time for a few weeks. I was quite upset about it, etc. But a lot of people I got a lot of support too. A lot of people said, stuff that. Don't listen to that shit. You worry about what you're doing. You're doing a great job. You keep pushing forward. And so you just got to. And I know that's what I clearly see that's what you've done with your stuff as well. And so when you asked me to come on here, I thought, well, I felt a bit of I felt like we've been through something fairly similar, and recently. And I thought, that's really interesting, and fuck.
I love it. Fuck, you're right. Fuck the haters. I'm gonna do what I want. It's my YouTube. I do what I want. You don't have to like it. You don't like it. Don't watch it. Now, my question to you, you're killing it. Instagram, 70,000, subscribers. So I want to give you a homework assignment.
Okay.
I feel like you are, I feel like you're Instagram famous. So when you get off here, and before you go to bed, I want you to look at your wife and you say, honey, and wait till the trash is full. I want you to wait till the trash is full. Okay, so when the garbage is full, I want you to say, honey, I'm Instagram famous, so I'm not taking out the trash no more. You do it.
No, I don't think I'll do that. She just slapped me.
Now, dude,
hey, I want to answer Mike's question. He asked about the gestation period for blue tongues.
Uh-huh.
It's approximately 100 days. Yeah, Collins answered it. Yeah, 100 to 120 days. So I have had him go earlier. I've had him go at 85. And yeah, I've had him go a little bit earlier, a little bit longer, but yeah, anywhere from that 80 to 120 days, could be anywhere in there. It really is. It's from when they ovulate. And I know I've seen you do some videos about, palpating and ultrasounding and feeling snakes. You can't fucking do that with a blue tongue skink. It's, so you breed them and then you hope you see when they ovulate and then you guess when the babies, and, you just watch them get fat and then just sit around and hope.
I I love it, man. I love it, man. Now, like I was saying, like I said, you're absolutely killing it on Instagram. At what point were you on Instagram where you like, okay, shit, I'm on to something? Was it when you hit like 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers? At what point did you say, okay, I'm on to something? Let me keep doing this.
Yeah, so I've been on Instagram for a long time. I think I've got 15 more posts on Instagram to do 1,000 posts. So, and I post most days. So let's say I do one a day, So I've been on there for sort of over 3 years. About Christmas this year, Christmas just gone. So, December last year, I was on like 2,000 followers, and it wasn't really doing much, but the lizard stuff's going great, whatever. And then from Christmas to February, I went from sort of, very low numbers to about 20,000. And I thought, this how great am I? This is great. Yeah. So I was pretty happy with myself. And then I did a bit of work. So there's a photography page on Instagram. Her name's Dahlia. She's from Switzerland. She does real tutorials and, helps people level up their Instagram. And she's also a photography coach. And I actually did a 3-month course with her to learn about how to make reels, how to make better videos, better photography. So we do a 2 hours once a week on Zoom together, and we would go through like making plans, working out what to shoot, making a strategy, leveling up my Instagram game, and on my Instagram, if you go to my, the story highlights underneath, underneath your profile picture on there, I've got a thing that says, I think it says engagement, or it's called something like that. And it's a bit of a story about how I did it with her. So it's on my Instagram, so you can go and look at that. And so we did a heap of work. I'll just check what it's called, actually. It's called engagement. Yeah. So I did some work with her, and we had that one reel go viral, like went crazy. Like
the very first reel you did with her went crazy.
No, it was about halfway through the program. I did a 3-month program with her, and we were about halfway through, and then they were all going pretty good, but this one just caught fire, and my page just went bang. Went from 20,000 to 50,000 pretty quick, and then slowly grew to sort of mid 70s. And it's gone back a little bit. Like I've lost, because you get people jumping on because of that one viral video, and then you slowly do lose a few of those because they were like, oh, I thought this was a funny page, and it's actually just a page about lizards. This isn't what I wanted. So they jump back off. So that's fine, but I've kept the majority, and so I've stayed over 70,000. I'm on 70.2, so I might drop. I'll sit around there. But yeah, so I did some work with her, and it made a big difference. It made a big difference. So working with her was good, and taught me how to use. I use editing software. I edit all my reels. I cut them together. I do animation. I do text. Like I don't just shoot a video and then find a cool song and put it on Instagram.
No, you out your game.
That's lazy.
Just doing that on the phone. You got cameras, editing tools, everything.
Yeah,
you ain't half-assing. You're doing this shit for real.
Yeah. So I do. Each reel is probably a half an hour to an hour's work in making the reels.
Damn.
By the time you film it, by the time then you edit it all, make it look cool, find good music, make it work. So yeah, but I try and drop one every day. That's my goal.
That's the best way to grow.
One reel a day. Yep.
One a day, just being consistent, and you're gonna grow. I love that, man. Now, with you having such a huge following, do you ever see yourself making lizard morphs products? And I don't mean like t-shirts. I mean like reptile products, like crested gecko food or this kind of lizard food. Or do you ever see yourself making products? Potentially,
I do work. So my actual day job, I work for a plastics manufacturer. We make water tanks and all sorts of plastic things, mostly water tanks, but we make other plastic things for construction and horticulture and for farming, agriculture industries. So things that you could make out of plastic, I could probably do at work. So yeah, maybe. I have thought about enclosures. I've thought about hides, bowls, different things that I could make that are better than what's on the market that I could design to suit me, suit the species that I look after and that. So yes, I have. The problem, I guess, is that whatever I make, I need it to be able to be exportable. Big bulky things that I can only sell within Australia. I've got it's a small population and a smaller reptile community. It needs to be stuff that I can ship. It needs to be able to. I'll be able to ship a container of it to America. It can't be just real big enclosures and things you can't ship. So look, I am interested in that. I've spoke to a few people. I know I'm friends with the people from Focus Cube Habitats in America. I really like their enclosures, for example. I've talked to them about some design ideas and things that I could then replicate and do for the Australian hobby. Because we also don't get everything, I mean? I know you've got, you've got the Venom enclosure sponsor, but that stuff isn't here, and it's too expensive for it to be shipped from America to us. So maybe, replicating some of those good ideas and doing them in Australia for the Australian hobby would be cool. So yeah, I am interested in that. I just haven't found the exact product that I'm passionate about enough to spend my time on.
I would love to see lizard morphs enclosures.
Yeah,
that should be fire.
Yeah. So that's definitely something I've thought about. Even partnering with maybe someone who's already here, who's an established enclosure maker, designing it myself and saying, okay, I want you to make it a bit different so it suits my brand. And working with someone, so I've thought of a few things. So I've definitely got a few things working on, but nothing 100%.
Well, you got a lot of fans, man. Because somebody actually hit me up when they seen you was coming on the podcast, and they wanted me to ask you what's up with a U.S. tour, man. They was trying to get you over here to tour some facilities.
Yeah, so definitely next year, so 2023, I want to go to Tinley. I have to go to Tinley. So that's that would be my number one reptile travel goal, is to do Tinley next year. And if you're going to do Tinley and you've flown all the way to America, you've flown halfway around the world, you may as well hit up as much as you can. So maybe making it a bit of a week or a 2-week trip and try and hit as many places as I can. But Tinley, I think, that's the reptile show of all reptile shows, I think.
That's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think the Super Show in California would be awesome as well. And that's at the other time of year. That's in January, isn't it? Something like January, February. So that would also suit me. But I think Tinley is the one,
Hey, you got people that want to see you, man. Now, I want to have a little fun. I got a couple hot seat questions just to have a little fun.
Go for it.
First hot seat question. You sell a lot of lizards, a lot of amazing stuff. Celebrity sale. If you could sell anybody a lizard, celebrity-wise, who would it be?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, that'd be a good look. Selling Jordan. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
That definitely help the hobby.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
love Jordan.
Michael Jordan. You got a lot of Jordans?
Yeah, I got a lot of Jordans. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that. You got your shoe game's good.
I got big shoe game. Yeah. I got a lot of Yeezys. I got a lot of Jordans. I got a lot of stuff like that.
You heard that. You heard it here first on Big Reptile Talk. Don't play yourself. Lizard Moore shoe game is insane. Don't play yourself.
Yeah, I got the Jordan 9s from Barcelona Olympics edition with the 9 on the back. I got Jordan 11 Olympics, the gold ones, the gold paint leather with the gold and white. I went and visited the Jordan store in Dubai, so I got a few things when I was there.
Oh, that's heavy. The Jordan store in Dubai?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not messing around, Mr. Luke. You're killing it, man.
Yeah, me and my wife used to work in the shoe game, so that was a big deal for us, Yeah.
I love it. Now, next question is gonna make you think a little bit. You're over in Australia. We got Brian Barczyk over here. So my question to you is, who is the Brian Barczyk of Australia?
I think it's probably Robert Irwin, Steve Irwin's son. I think he does a bit more all animals, not just reptiles. But he's big into conservation, big into photography. He's a proper household name here. He is it. He's the top of the tree. For sure.
Yeah, you're right. Them is the kings right there. Now, do you ever see you're doing a lot of lizards and stuff. Do you ever see yourself getting into the venomous and doing the Gila monsters, the ones that are venomous, the Gilas?
I can't have them in Australia. We can only have Australian reptiles in Australia.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So there's no import or export allowed in Australia. So I've only got Australian reptiles. I can't have anything from overseas. So, no.
So they are, hold on, let's talk about the laws. So you said the Australian laws is no import, no export. So if you want a ball python, you can't get that shit.
No, I'd love a ball python, but can't have one. No.
Oh, fuck that. Move.
Yep, nothing. No. But Australia has a lot of good reptiles,
Well, yeah, that's true. You got a lot of the same stuff over there.
If we were a country that had shit reptiles and those laws, it would be terrible, right? But we're not. We've got shit laws, but we've got great reptiles, so it's not so bad. You know what I mean? Like, the snake guys here have got all the Antaresia, You've also got carpet pythons. They've got olive pythons.
Yeah.
They've got, like, the snake people here have got, all the different venomous. We've got great snakes. So the snake people are happy. The lizard people, we've got lace monitors, we've got skinks, we've got all the dragons. We've got great reptiles. So the only things we don't have here, we don't have chameleons, we don't have tortoises. We've only got turtles. No tortoises in Australia. So there's a few things that we don't have, but essentially, we've got pretty good stuff. So I can deal with it.
Okay, well that's not bad.
It's not bad,
At first, when you said that, I was like, "Wait a minute, that sounds terrible."
Yeah, but we've got all the Australian species, and to be honest, in America, what everyone wants is the Australian species. Like they want our stuff, so we've got good stuff. So it's all right.
That is, I love it. I love it. Mike's Monitor said, shout out. He wants to let you know he is an hour north of Tinley, so you should stop by, come see.
So, yes. So, when I go there, that's where I'll be going. Very good.
He said, you're welcome anytime, both of you. And he said, Colin said, I've seen Mike at Tinley a couple times. Yeah, Mike's always there. Now, with the lizard, you said a lot of the lizards, they, oh, give me 1 second. Hold on. Lekka said, howdy. Now, what are, I want you to kind of, because like I said, we're having fun. But I want people to come here and learn and have fun. So what are some of kind of like the misconceptions that, when it comes to like bearded dragons or lizards that or skinks that you can be like, okay, that shit's not true?
Especially bearded dragons, there's a lot of funny ways that American people keep bearded dragons, I'll be honest. There's debates like there's this, don't have your bearded dragon on loose substrate thing in America. People are like, oh, you can't have loose substrate with your bearded dragon. They'll eat it and die. Right. Just so people know, right? The center of Australia, where the lizards are from, is a desert. All right. It's not
shut up.
Yeah. It's not tiles or puppy pads or, whatever other shit they put under their bearded dragons. You can have loose substrate with your bearded dragon. If your bearded dragon eats its substrate and dies, it's probably natural selection. We don't want stupid bearded dragons, so that's fine, right? Like, seriously. Like, my God. So, yeah, loose substrate is fine for a bearded dragon. It's just some crazy stuff. I've had a couple other people say that you shouldn't feed your bearded dragons live insects. It's cruel to the insects, right? You have to feed them live insects. Their nutritional value of a dead insect is a lot less than a live insect unless you just killed it yourself. And bearded dragons aren't going to chase something that's dead, So they want to chase a live insect. So you have to feed them live. But you do hear some stupid things about bearded dragons in America, So, but yeah, you can do loose substrate. It's absolutely fine for them. And you got to feed them live. You just have to, it's how it works. Yep. See it? Yeah. See that Luke is dropping gems, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Bearded dragons can't have loose substrate. That is a myth. Don't listen to people when they tell you they can't have it. We love that you see, Luke. You got that knowledge, man. It's an absolute myth. It's an absolute myth. Like, seriously. Like, what do they think the wild is? You know, like it's not concrete or bitumen. You know, it's dirt. You know. So,
Mike said to tell you Luke needs a cassowary. I can see that.
do you know what that is?
I'm guessing it's a monitor because it's Mike's
No.
monitors.
No, that's the biggest bird in Australia. That it looks like a raptor. It's the one with it's got like dinosaur feet, a massive claw like a raptor. It'll kill you. Yep, like an emu.
Oh yeah.
Looks like an emu.
Does it have what? Is it the one with like 1 foot or no?
Yeah.
No.
Is it the one of them?
It's got one foot.
It's got 3. No, it's got 2 legs, but it's got 3 claws, and the middle one is crazy scary.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Looks a bit like an emu. Do you know what an emu is?
I do know what an emu is.
So it's like an emu, but it's black, more beautiful looking than an emu, and way more deadly. They kill people. Yeah.
Mike is in the chat cutting up, man. Now you know you're absolutely, and like I said, you almost gave us an amazing hour. I appreciate it. Do you ever see yourself getting any snakes? Like, cause you're crushing it with the lizards. Do you ever see yourself eventually breeding snakes?
I don't know. I think you get sucked into all the other reptiles. I mean, I watch a lot of these podcasts and videos. And look, if I could get ball pythons, I'd probably already have snakes, right? But I can't because I love the reason. That's the reason why I like blue tongues is because you have recessive and you have codon mutations, and you can do double and triple recessives and mix them together. That's what I love about blue tongues. And essentially, that's what ball pythons are, right? You know, so blue tongues are like my ball python. You know. So I would love to have snakes if I could get ball pythons, but I can't. In regards to Australian snakes.
Oh, I got to interrupt you. Luke, I got to interrupt you. Never say you can't. Tom Crutchfield made it. He showed us that we can have anything we want. If you're willing to take the risk, you can have anything you want.
Yeah, well, I have heard they're in Australia, but they're not at my house anyway. So, if I was going to do Australian snakes, I do like some of the Antaresia morphs, you know, like the Spotteds, Stimsons, Children Eye, the small pythons.
I have a children's python. I love my children's python.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of really crazy mutations of those here. You know, different albinos and, you know, tarbles and, you know, marbles and all sorts of stuff. So maybe I would do those because they stay small. You can do all sorts of cool colors. There's a couple of great breeders of those in my state that I could hook up with and get some stuff. So potentially I would, but yeah, my wife doesn't really like them. She loves the lizards.
Okay, happy wife, happy life. Stick with the lizards then.
Yeah.
Now with the lizards, man, do you have to do any like egg? Because I'm not a lizard guy. I love watching other people with lizards, but do you have to do any like egg cuttings or anything like that?
So every time I've cut a bearded dragon egg, it's died. So I do not cut them. No. Cutting them doesn't work. It's not like a ball python. No cutting. So I'm a no cut man. So I just put them in the incubator. We open them, and my wife opens them every day or two and air exchanges them. And they'll just come in on their own. And then when they come. Like, you know, when a clutch starts to pip, they all start pipping. You know, like they'll all come pretty quick. So, you know, as I said, I think we got 10 this morning, you know. So, but yeah, we just let them pip themselves. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a funny story. I want to breed snakes, but I'm going to tell you why. And people probably going to judge me. This is my podcast. I say what I want. I don't care. I can say what I want. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to see if you laugh. I was like, you know what I wanted to do? I was like, I'm going to get these leopard geckos. I'm going to breed them. You know, I want to breed geckos and lizards. So I got a gecko pair, right? And I was like, I'm going to breed them. Have you ever seen leopard geckos breed? To me, it scared the fuck out of me. It looked like rape. I seen the male get on top of the girl, on the woman gecko. He grabbed the girl gecko by the neck, did his thing. And I was like, he's literally pinning her down by the neck. It scared the fuck out of me. I said, never. I'm never breeding geckos ever. I'm not breeding nothing with fucking legs. It scared the shit out of me.
It is the most rapey thing you will ever see.
I was like, this is fucking rape.
It's worse. It's way worse with the blue tongue skinks. Way worse. Like it is. You've got no idea. I've got a couple of live streams on my Instagram where the blue tongues breed, and people come on and go, "Holy shit, this is crazy!" And then they get off. But they can't deal with it. You have to watch it. I've got some lives on my. They're
your
on my
Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah, they're on my Instagram. I go live and I go, watch this. Put them together, and everyone goes, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me. And
Yeah.
you said,
See what far out's saying? Yep.
So you're telling
Nothing.
me
Yep.
leopard skinks are worse than leopard geckos when it comes to breeding?
Blue tongue skink breeding. Blue tongue skink breeding is like leopard gecko breeding on steroids times by 10. It's crazy.
Oh wow! See now, since you said that, I've never. How are the Mike? If you're still here, how are the monitors? How, are they like that? Because like I said, leopard geckos, the shit scared me.
Some are rough and some are not with the monitors. Some of them are quite a gentle lover, you know. But no, the blue tongue skinks is the rapiest thing you've ever seen. Even the bearded dragons, it's very similar to the leopard geckos. The bearded dragons are sort of the same. The girl sort of will flap her arm a bit and say, "Get off me, get off me." But the blue tongue skinks, mate, it is nasty. Like people are like, why are they biting? Why are you doing a live stream of your skinks fighting, you animal abusing asshole? I'm like, they're not fighting, they're fucking.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Luke, man, I want to say thank you. You gave us an amazing hour. It was so fun chatting with you. Hopefully down the road we can get you for a round 2, but we got upwards of 70 people in here, man.
That's awesome. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're a legend in the lizard game, man. A Australian heavy hitter. 71 people in the building, man. Talk to them before we end this, man. Where can they reach you?
Please, Lizard Morphs, all one word. Please go and follow. It's Lizard Morphs here. Oh, there it is. Please go and follow me on Instagram. Instagram's my main platform, and I'd appreciate the follow. So please go follow me. I do a video every day, and so you can see all the different species I work with, show you what they eat, show you how they breed, and it's pretty fun. So please come and enjoy.
Man. Awesome podcast, man. Thank you again so much for coming on. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you backstage so I can tell you thank you again. Man, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you. Until next time, man, this is Big Reptile Talk, and we out of here.
Big Reptile Talk. Yeah, we work